few months ago, I made a new friend. This friend is probably one of the most gayest people you will ever meet in your life, and she does not watch anime. One of the conversations that we had was about anime that had lesbian couples, or Yuri anime for the people that don't know. In my entire anime watching life, I have watched one anime that is centered around a Yuri couple, and that one unfortunately didn't really make me want to watch anymore. So before watching the anime that I'm about to talk about, the only Yuri focused media that I had watched was on the more not safe for work animated videos. We all know what I'm talking about. And most of the Yuri episodes were focused around them being step-siblings, straight-on siblings, or even twins at times, and most of the time there was always a male character involved in the relations as well. So it seemed actually quite difficult to find a Yuri media without the bloke, which I kind of feel defeats the purpose. Going on to the safe for work media, I had, at the time I was watching kind of every anime that was coming out, and this one came out, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a try, because I have not seen a Yuri anime before, and I'd heard so many good things about it. And the show is Citrus, which I think is a really, really fantastic name. I don't know if it's the name that is actually in the Japanese version, but in Western media, Citrus, lemons means lesbian. I thought it was fantastic, so I don't know if that is actually the case, but I thought it was brilliant. So I went into this not knowing absolutely anything about it, apart from the fact that it was a Yuri anime, and I was intrigued. The first thing that actually struck me before anything else was how absolutely gorgeous this show is. The art style is absolutely just amazing. I loved it so much. The other thing that really struck me from it is how amazing the soundtrack actually is for this. I am currently listening to it on my headphones. You can't hear it, of course, because I will get copyright claimed. However, this, what was their name? Ryo Takahashi. They also, I'm sure they've done, Classroom of the Elite. They also did Windbreaker, which is just coming out, which I've not seen yet and I really want to watch. Really, really thoroughly enjoyed the soundtrack for this. The music in an anime always gets me, so perfect. I love it so much. The basic plot is that Yuzu Aihara moves to a new school because her mum marries a new man and she has to go to this new school. It's an all-girls school. I really quite liked her character. She was very, very chirpy and everything, and you can tell right from the start that it's something that's, because she lies to her friends. It has been a wee while since I actually watched this, by the way. But she goes to the school, she's all dressed up to the nines, makeup, you know, nice clothes and all that sort of stuff, and the first thing that she gets is completely fucked over by the student council to say, you're not allowed to wear that. And she then meets the student council president, who is May. And May seems to be super, super popular. She's very strict, but she's very beautiful. And you can tell from the start that she is going to be some kind of main character in it, just because you always know an anime. The day goes on, and then she sees one of the teachers that she has a crush on, or that she thinks is hot, so she goes to try and talk to him, and they turn around the corner and she sees May and this teacher kissing very, very passionately. And of course she gets all flustered, and then she fucks off. And then she goes home. Her mum then drops the bomb that, by the way, you have a new step-sibling. Which is just mad. I mean, how could you not mention this before? And of course, in walks May, the student council president who was making out with a guy. And at this time, I'm thinking, I know for a fact that May uses, you know, love interest in this, and it's her fucking step-sibling. And I was like, oh my goodness. I watched the whole show because it was such a gorgeous show. The art style was just so fucking pretty, and the soundtrack was so good. And other than the fact that there were step-siblings, it was actually a really good story. There was a lot of character involved in the show, but I couldn't get over the fact that there were step-siblings. In anime, there's a lot of things that you think, for Westerners anyway, there's a lot of things that you go, it's fine because it's anime. Whenever I watch it with a non-anime watcher, I just say to them, just make allowances for the fact that it is anime and these things are going to happen. And I was trying to do that in Citrus, but I couldn't get over it because I felt that the only other Yuri media that I had watched had been hentai that was always focused around some kind of step-sibling-ish theme, and this was kind of following the same theme. It was just basically hentai without the nudity and sex and stuff. So although it's a good show, I couldn't on my own back recommend it to my new friend because I just felt that there must be better shows out there. better shows that have a lesbian couple that is not focused around the fact that they are this taboo relationship. That is nothing against the show, it is a good show. I would actually recommend it to other people to watch, but I just could not at the time recommend that to her. So now, I'm on a mission, and my mission is simple. I want to find some good Yuri shows that are not focused around incestuous relationships, that are just good shows that happen to have a lesbian couple as the main, maybe not the main focus, yes the main focus, but there's also another story going on. There has only been one anime show that I've watched naturally that has had a lesbian couple, or at least hinted at a lesbian couple, or some kind of romance between girls, and that not being like a big part of the show, and that was actually Attack on Titan. One of my favourite shows, possible spoilers here, and that was between Historia and Ymir. They had something going on that seemed to be a little bit more than friendship, but it wasn't really focused on. It was a kind of, it was just there, but it was never really explored because of the happenings of the show. But from memory, that is really the only show that I can remember seeing that had anything in it like that, that wasn't a Yuri show, that had some kind of Yuri aspect to it, and that was not anywhere part of the actual like storyline. It just happened to be at some point in it. Please let me know if there are other shows out there that actually have this background chemistry between two female characters that isn't a main focus of it being a Yuri show. So anyway, my mission is I want to find a show that is a Yuri show that I can recommend to my friend, and the first one that I actually started with is the one that I want to talk about today. I've been talking for ages already. However, I went and watched I'm in Love with Villainess, which that show, honestly, starting off kind of me, getting into it, it was fabulous, and I actually really want to go on and read the light novel that it's actually based on, because my goodness. So the anime, I would say the animation style is very standard anime. The OST was actually pretty good as well. I've not actually heard of this composer. Looking on their wiki, I've not actually seen anything else that they have, like any other animes they've worked on, but it was really, it was funky. I quite enjoyed it. This show started as an isekai. Rei, who's the main character, is isekai'd into her favourite video game, which is a dating sim, and she has absolutely zero interest in the three main male protagonists of the game, as she is in love with the Villainess, who is Claire. Now Claire is a bully. She is a horrible bully, and she is terrible to Rei. Like, she is absolutely horrendous to Rei. But Rei is super in love with this girl. She is super open about the fact that she is gay and that she loves Claire, and she just keeps on going for it. She keeps on getting beaten down by Claire, and she does not give a fuck whatsoever. And honestly, I didn't like that dynamic. I actually really disliked that dynamic when I first watched the show. This might be a good time to point out that I was actually bullied in school, so this might be a reason why I did not enjoy that so much. And I was wondering, why the hell am I watching this? Because I just didn't like that dynamic between them. However, I think it was episode 2 or 3 where there's a little bit of the real Rei that slips out a little bit, because you can tell, even from the start, even though I wasn't really enjoying the first couple of episodes, you could tell that Rei was putting on a bit of a show for some reason, and it didn't really, there wasn't really anything that said why until it got to, I think it was the end of episode 2, or it was sometime in episode 3. It was quite early on anyway. I think the show was only like 12 episodes, but it was in one of the earlier episodes where a little bit of the real Rei slipped out. It gave a little bit of an intrigue of there's something else going on here, and it wasn't clear exactly what the something else was. Up until that point, I could have actually just left the show and not watched it. The only reason I was watching it was to try and recommend something to a friend to get them into anime. But after that point, I really wanted to watch the rest of the show. So what I would say is, I'm not going to go too far into the actual story, because I do want people to actually go and watch the show instead of just listen to me talk about spoilers. The show does get intriguing. You do have this very main focus on the fact that that Rei is a lesbian, and that Claire doesn't seem to be a lesbian, but probably is, considering that she's the main love interest. There is a little bit of a weird relationship with another couple that's going on, and you'll know exactly what I mean when you actually watch it, especially right the way till the end. But yeah, I would highly recommend watching it. But the whole show, although it is focused around Rei's love of the Villainess, of Claire, there is other stuff that is going on in the background, which I really did enjoy. There is a very fantasy type of feel to it as well. There's magic involved, there's battles involved, and there is an intrigue, there is something else going on in the background. There's a darkness that's kind of there, and part of the darkness is actually, part of it's talked about during the show, it's dealt with during the show, but there's another right at the end, and obviously I'm not going to say what it is. There's a scene right at the end that just makes me go, where's the next season? I want to watch it. So I think I will be reading the rest of the manga for this, because it was really intriguing. I want to know where the story goes, and it is one that I am going to be recommending to my friend, because that's awesome. And I feel that it took away the things that I didn't like about Citrus, and it changed my perspective on Yuri anime, not because of the actual show, because I mean the show it's quite a standard anime, it's good, it's something that I would quite like to watch more of, but it's a standard show. I wouldn't say it's the best show I've ever watched. It was pretty good, but it's not the best thing I've ever watched. But it has changed my perspective on the fact that not all Yuri anime are the same, which I was worried about. As I said, it's not something that I've watched a lot, and I was really worried that all Yuri anime were going to go down this niche of how things are perceived in the hentai, and that it was going to end up being just this repeat of more taboo and taboo and taboo. In most media, the taboo usually is a homosexual couple, and you really don't need more taboo on top of that. We want to normalise, so why on earth would we add another taboo on top of that just to make it more interesting, where you can get a super interesting show that doesn't have that taboo in it. There is other taboos in I'm in love with Villainess, and please watch it, you'll know exactly what I mean. I want to see more Yuri that doesn't have more taboos in it. I have several shows sitting waiting for me to watch. Are Yuri shows that have been recommended online, so I am going to go and watch some more. I will maybe come back with another video about Yuri, I don't really know, but it was just something that has been playing on my mind for a while, and I really wanted to talk about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on both of these shows, and let me know as well if there's any other shows that you would recommend personally of Yuri anime that doesn't have other taboos in it that normalise those types of relationships. So yeah, please let me know. I would love to hear about them below. Even if there is some manga as well that's not yet into an anime, I would also love to hear about it, because if I can get more people to watch anime, the better. So yeah, please let me know your recommendations below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to hit the like button below and subscribe for more, because I post most Fridays and I talk about anime a lot. So subscribe below if you want to hear more. I also stream every Wednesday and Saturday. My Wednesday streams are generally art streams. On Saturdays, right now I'm doing Pokemon streams every Saturday. That might change in the future, but right now it's just Pokemon. I do a lot of digital art though, you'll see them all on my page, so please check out my other videos below, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!